Hello and welcome back to Lab Art. We're going to be doing an acrylic paint haul today and first impressions. So let's just jump in. Right here I've got some neon acrylics. We've got a purple neon, a light green neon, a magenta neon, yellow neon, orange neon, and a glow-in-the-dark paint cover. I was really curious about this, whether it would be painted on like a top coat and actually how well the glow-in-the-dark effect would be. I did try and test it. I didn't get very far, it didn't seem to be very good, but that's spoiling the end. These cost me £4.50 GDP. Let's have a play around with those. This was a bargain find. This is a set of acrylics for £3.50. You haven't got a wide range of greens in here, but if you follow your colour theory and mix the colours together, you should be able to create a wide range of greens. Got a metallic antique gold, which is the Hobbycraft own. So the first colour I picked up is this matte plum and this chick yellow, which is in a gloss. This is Hobbycraft own, it's called Navy. This is Hobbycraft own, it's a yellow. This colour is called tan. I like the sort of metallic-y finish on it. And this is a pearlescent pink. I'm really excited to play around with this. I also picked up this bargain glitter glue, which was only 65p, and some A4 black card, 10 sheets, which was only £1, so I might use this in an upcoming video. The last thing that I picked up was a picture mounting frame. It's really useful to have one of these on hand, just to see what your artwork would look like framed. So I've got my sketchbook and my trusty cardboard palette ready. I've got my water ready. Let's pour some paint. So there we go, all our paints are ready. Right, I'm just having a look at the brushes that I've got, and I think I'm going to use this long, fine, almost typography brush and this small flat brush to get started. To begin with, I'm going to go in with that chick yellow, and I was really impressed at the pigment coverage on this Pelivo. I'm never going to be able to pronounce this brand. Really impressed actually. You can see I'm swiping it off in the background and then going in with the plum colour. I'm not sure that this is a true plum, but again the pigment's great and it's true to the colour of the bottle that you're picking up. So here I just try to water it down, get more of a watercolour effect with this acrylic. And I was really impressed. You can do a lot of stuff with a high pigment acrylic like that. So I'm going in with the Home Base Own now. You can see I got a little bit of pink in that swatch. I was not impressed with this yellow. It was patchy, you'd need to build up a lot of layers. You can work with this, but it's not going to give you the same effect as that high pigment. You're going to have more of it too. So here I'm going in with the pearlescent pink, and I was not impressed. It's more of a stain, of a tinge, and you can see on the paper that it barely shows up as a colour, and the pigment's just not there. And yeah, it is sort of that giving that iridescent effect, but I think maybe I'd stick to another brand. However, the tan, which I'm using now to create that little box, yeah, the pigment wasn't great, but I sort of used less water and went in with a more dry brush approach. And it did build up that pigment, and I was more happy with this colour in particular. You have to remember that all the pigments that they use in these colours are different, and they're going to give you a slightly different effect, even if it's from the same brand. And I really liked going in with the water too. The watercolour stain was nice. It was almost like a burnt sienna vibe to it. So here I'm going in with the navy. The navy was actually pretty good, and I'm going with that long brush. I really like these colours together actually. They would be nice contrasting tonal base for a painting that I might do in the future. You can see I'm really enjoying myself with this long brush. I would really recommend one of these. They're very good for painting typography, but I like to use them to create lines and curves and swirls. So I would highly recommend. Oh, I'm just popping in and going in with that pink and kind of experimenting. I think there I was trying to get a clean line, but it didn't really work, so I'm going back in with that small flat brush and I'm building up the pigment, which is looking lovely. So the last colour that I need to go into in this palette was the antique gold. And for the price, which I think was £2, this is a pretty good antique gold effect. Of course, it's not going to be as good as gold leaf or a more expensive paint, but you can definitely build this up. And that's what I tried to do over the yellow from the home base, the dark yellow that I showed you earlier in the clip. And I quite like the effect. With colours that are iridescent or have glitter or are metallic, you're going to get a better coverage on a darker base, but that was quite nice. Right, I'm swatching the palette, the £3.50 bargain palette of acrylics here, so we can have a play with them. There we go, all ready. Get a new page in the sketchbook. Now I wanted to spread things out and do some type of aesthetic square shape for you guys, but unfortunately, as you're going to find out later in the video, this tape actually ended up ripping the paper, so we'll see how good this looks on camera. In real life, I think I could have done better, but the exercise of this was not to make it look pretty, it was to show you the colours. And I'm going in and I'm very impressed with this colour swatch. The first three colours, that white, red, darker cherry red, were brilliant. You've got the pigment there, it's really good. The fourth colour along, the pinky magenta colour, not so great, a bit watery, but the yellows are coming back through and they're giving us the colour we want. Just coming in with that ochre in the back corner. That's wonderfully thick. You could do a lot with this basic starter palette. You don't have to spend lots of money to start working with acrylics. If you go online, you might see starter sets for £22, £30, £40. No, this is perfect. You can buy that stuff if you really get into it, but please start off with a kit like this because you can use techniques to build up this colour. Oops, now we're discovering my mistake with the tape. No matter, this was not the exercise to make this into a piece of work, but it gives us a lovely impression of kind of the true life colours with the dried acrylic. So just going in with the final brown and the final black, and I was really impressed with this black. And the last colours I'm going into are the neons. Now, I don't know if you saw earlier in the clip, the neon green actually had a slightly different packaging to that pink, and so did this more coral colour. And the texture of the paint was completely different. So you can see the two on the right were slightly chalky and the ones on the left were fine and sort of creamy, as you would expect with a paint. So I was getting very suspicious at this point. And actually, as I went into that green with water, I was kind of upset about how much the pigment dispersed. Yes, I could build it up after a couple of layers, and yes, it is a neon. It's not expensive paint, but I don't know, it's not satisfying to use. It feels a bit muddy, it feels a bit murky. So I had higher hopes for our left colours. Unfortunately, those high hopes did not come through for me on anything apart from the yellow. Here I just went in with the glow to see whether we would get a slightly colour, and I wanted to test it out and see if I could get that darkness in. Maybe you can see now I'm trying to darken the room and run around to see if they can glow. And the colour that's really coming through for me is actually that neon green. So here are some of their swatches. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this little layout of our swatches today, and thank you for watching.